Hear the bombs dropping. I done came through the clouds.
Yo, 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 yo. We back at it on a Thursday, back by popular demand in the in the we ain't gonna give the location. We don't do the location. We ain't gonna drop the Addy. But somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, super duper in the building.
Don't
What's
drop
good,
that.
brother?
What's really
Man.
good? Reporting live from the Trap House, fam. You already know.
No doubt. From the West Coast, we got Leroy Green in the building. What's good?
What's good? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't going hard enough. They don't want you to
Man,
show up.
man.
Showing up is half the battle. Showing up is half the battle, y'all. So anytime it's time to show up, that's what Leroy gonna do. I brought the
Yo,
bombs with me. They ain't want me to come through the clouds with the bombs.
yo, 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 yo. Sorry for our lateness tonight. We were supposed to start the show a little bit earlier, but we in Atlanta, and when you can do the best you can to schedule things and plan it out. I had a 5 o'clock appointment, and I didn't get to the chair till 7:30. So I apologize. So I couldn't get my usual situation right, but we here now. We here now. We got a packed show. We're gonna talk a little Cam
Mm-hmm.
tonight. Talk a little Jim Jones, LaRussell on the West Coast. What else we talk? Underrated albums. The Wu-Tang's going on tour. And what else? Suge Knight. We're gonna talk some Suge and Snoop. So I think we're gonna start the show off with some Suge and Snoop. Super and Leroy. Super, you've been hitting us in the chat about the Snoop situation with Suge. What you been seeing? What you been hearing? What's going on with that?
I mean, at this point, like, Suge can't be ignored. I just noticed that, Suge been saying a lot lately, and people been just letting it go over their head or not even reporting on it. And so, like, I don't think that Suge is
Come back
looked
in.
at as a
Hold on.
liar in the game. I don't think nobody really look at him like that.
So what did he say?
Can y'all
What
hear
did
me?
he? Yeah, we can hear you. What did he say specifically? What was going on? What did he say specifically? Sure.
I mean, like in the interview that he did with Art of Dialogue, he was just expressing his feelings that he feel like Snoop might have known more information about what happened to Tupac, and he playing detective from jail, so what I mean, like he putting two and two together, and he listening to interviews from the other artists that was around at the time, and he questioning whether Snoop might have knew something about what was gonna happen to Tupac, because at the time of Tupac's death, Snoop and Pac they wasn't in the best of friendships. You know what I'm saying? So, like, overall, I mean, it's a lot of shady work that's been going on with Suge and with Death Row, and how Snoop obtained Death Row. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just think that Snoop been saying a lot from his his little interviews that he was having with, I forgot the name of the other channel that he was on, but he been saying a lot. Everybody been really reporting on
Yeah.
him. You know what I mean? And and Suge ain't really got the reputation of being a liar, but you know what I mean? Like, nobody really covering this. So I just think it's a good topic to talk about. I mean, I don't think that Suge got a fair deal, and I think that it is something to it that he's saying one way or another. And I just brought it up because I wanted to hear what you brothers got to say about it in the chat.
Yeah, Leroy, you want to go before I go?
Oh, I mean, only thing I could really say about that is, if it's gonna come down to Suge's word versus Snoop's word, and Snoop's not gonna have to say anything because Snoop is already Snoop. He's already respected in California. Now we recently had this issue with Snoop earlier this year, but if it comes down to these two men's word, Snoop is already golden in California. There's nothing nobody could say. Um, as far as him and Pac or whatever, I don't think there's nothing that could have been done to stop the situation from happening, and I don't think there's nothing anybody could have done to do anything about it. Once you go outside, anything could happen, and can't nobody do nothing about it. That's the whole thing. So I don't know what Suge is alluding to. Now, Suge, he has various opinions about a lot of things, but people are gonna always look at Suge with a side eye because of his situation. I mean, he's in prison. It's not wrong to be in prison per se, but what people look at is, man, you had all this success, you had the connections, you had the position, you had everything a person could want, only to end up where you at. And people not gonna forget that. You know what I mean? They just not. Snoop was in a similar situation, but ever since Snoop got out of court, he ain't looked back. He ain't never looked back. He ain't never tried to be on no tough guy stuff. If it comes, it comes, but he ain't never looked back. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that wasn't Suge's story. So, I heard what's going on, but I take what Suge said with a grain of salt, respectfully. You know?
Yeah, I mean, when Super hit us in the chat with the story, one thing I will say is Suge's been kind of telling a similar story for years. Even before he got locked up, he was saying similar things about the situation. Even on different podcasts, I heard folks from the Outlaws, people that's affiliated with Warren G. I don't know. I don't want to put this on nobody. I think Daz might have said something similar, but a lot of people said similar stories about how Snoop might have knew something was going down. He told people not to go to Vegas. He had a walkie-talkie with the radio. So a lot of different things that I don't know that I don't want to speak on. But Suge's been telling a similar story for almost damn near a decade, even before he got locked
How?
up. So it's been a consistent story he's been selling. And so this story he's been telling now wasn't something I just heard before, just knew all of a sudden. He's been saying this
And
consistently
not
for
only
I'm
that,
almost.
saying
Rob.
how. How are you gonna know
Not.
what's gonna happen to Pac before it happens? How?
I mean, but because you got to, like I said, I mean, if you look at it from the Suge point of view, we all know that Snoop is a Crip, and the Crips is responsible for the Tupac death. And so, like, either way, like, Suge might feel that Tupac has some type of, I mean, not Tupac, but Snoop has some type of inside information. And, like, it's not even really just Snoop's word or anything that he just taken. It's other interviews. It's Warren G talking about it. It's Daz and Corrupt talking about it. It's Nate Dogg talking about it. So he not just formulating this out of the blue. You know what I'm saying, Leroy? Like, they are saying some things that
You coming out the blue,
make it
man.
somewhat it makes it somewhat suspicious. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and like I said, I think
I'm saying
Suge's reputation
I don't think you could predict that
Suge's
though. I'm gonna
reputation is
predict
not
that
really
this
one of a
chain of
liar.
events is gonna happen. Right, but you're telling me that the Crips didn't kill Tupac. A man killed Tupac. He's responsible for that. Who did that? Now, to predict that all of these chain events was going to happen. That spot in Vegas, he sees Orlando Anderson. A fight breaks out, and then shots ring out later on in the street. I don't know who could predict that or how you know that's coming. You'd have to be a psychic. And Snoop definitely I
It
don't think he could
it
predict that.
is
And even if I'm sure he thought I'm sure people said we gonna get you. I'm sure people said Snoop, we coming to get you. And that's what he probably heard. But he's hearing that every
hey,
day. When you reach a certain
at the
level,
same time.
you gonna hear a threat every day. You know.
Hey, at the same time, Leroy, though,
Go ahead. You
like,
breaking up though.
when
Yeah.
am I?
No, you good. You
Oh
good.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
This time. Okay, so
You
at the
good now.
same
You
time,
good.
I mean, like, Suge ain't got no choice but to piece together what other people are saying in the interviews, and he know, I mean, from all this time, I think that Suge had real love for Snoop. I mean, not for Snoop, but I mean for both of them, to be honest with you, for Snoop and Pac, but specifically for Pac. And for one, I think that he is trying to clear his name up and get his name out of he set Tupac up in the rumors that he has something to do with Tupac's death. But when you piece together what Keefe D has been saying throughout the evidence and whatnot, Puffy was funding them to be in a lot of these places in areas where Tupac was at. You know what I mean? And that's the Crips in general. So Puffy was funding them. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
mean, I don't know.
what's the odds of these group of guys being what's the odds of this group of guys being at a Mike Tyson fight in a VIP section? You know what I'm saying? Like, without having some type of funding and backing. You know what I mean? These wasn't the
Right.
richest guys at the time. So that
But
I think there is some type of involvement there with
Niggas got
Puffy. that we all like. I think we all
I don't,
recognize it, and I think the evidence is there for
I
that.
don't know. I blame Suge Knight, man. I blame Suge Knight. Sorry, I'm gonna tell you why. Suge Knight, you the boss. People follow behind the boss. So whatever you lead your team into, it is what it is. Now, Tupac is also an adult, so we gonna have to give him some responsibility over himself. But if I was Suge, I would have told Pac, "Look, you're a rapper, my dude. You're a rapper. I know that you are out here repping MOB and different things, but I need you to just rap. That's all I need you to do. I don't need you to do no street stuff. Like seriously, because that's not even you. You know what I mean? That and it's not saying that it's weak, but what I'm saying is they grew up in a certain street culture. Pac came to them already an adult. He didn't grow up with them. I blame Suge Knight. Suge Knight, as soon as an issue would have rose, I would have said, "Ain't no way Pac is going over there." I would, and even and at once Pac starts going, I don't think nobody can stop him. But I would have told him, "Ain't no way, Pac. I'm gonna let you, the breadwinner of this crew, walk over there and get in a fight with some actual real gangsters. These dudes are not playing. They're just not. You know what I mean? I'm not having you do that. Now, if somebody else want to walk over there, okay. If you want me to walk over there and handle the situation, okay. But I'm not letting you walk over there, Pop. You worth too much. You're just worth too much. You know what I mean? That's it.
I mean,
That's how I feel.
I don't think that there's no real grand. I don't think that there's no real grand conspiracy to Tupac's death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there's no faking of the death or I don't think Suge Knight had nothing to do with it. I just think that they were comfortable in their surroundings, and it was what it was. Suge thought he was the king of L.A. and Pac was comfortable in L.A. and he thought he was getting love from L.A. But there was some antagonists that was making, I won't say life uncomfortable, but you know what I mean. Like it was some guys that was
Yeah.
antagonizing them in their own hometown, paid for and funded by Puffy. And I think that that's been proven, you know what I mean, like over time. You know what I mean? Like over time, no matter what video you watch or what documentary you watch, there's something to it. Even Keefe D saying it himself. So there's some proof there one way or another. And um it, there's always gonna be suspicion around it, around who's involved and who's responsible until it actually gets solved or until the pieces get put together. But I mean, I think that we know some things that can be true. And
I,
Orlando Anderson, Keefe
I
D,
think it's
they were getting funded by Bad Boy to be in certain places, bro.
I think it's put together though, man. I think it's put together. Once you put hands on somebody, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over right there. Once or Orlando Anderson got touched and he got punched and then he got punched on by the whole row camp, it was a wrap right there. Some people you just can't punch. And I'm not saying I don't know him like that or saying he's one way or this, but he did have a reparation. He did have a reputation, and he does represent the Crips. Some people you just can't punch. Is once you do that, it's over. Somebody's gonna go. Either it's gonna be one. It's gonna be one or the other. So I don't blame anybody per se. I have to blame the boss. You know what I mean? Because for Suge's position, but it should have never came to blows because it's no coming back from that. It's just no coming back. Once somebody gets punched,
You know,
you know
I think
that's
that
that's
a
what it
lot of
is.
people have a hard time believing
He
that
had
just
to
a
do
regular
that.
old
If he
gangster
didn't, if
was
he didn't do
responsible for
what he
Tupac's
did,
death.
he couldn't come back
Just
to L.A.
Hey, guy, we got a slight delay. So let's time it out. We got a slight delay. Super, what was you saying?
now, I would just say that a lot of people have a hard time believing that Tupac was killed just by a regular old gangster. There's no major FBI conspiracy. There's no CIA and government conspiracy that comes down to it. There's no faking of the death. Tupac was killed by a regular old gangster. You know what I'm saying? For doing some gangster shit and being at the wrong place in the wrong time and you know what I mean? But at the same time, I think that the story is that it's not really truly organic. You know what I'm saying? That I think that it's well known that Puffy was funding those guys. It's well known that Puffy was paying those guys to antagonize Death Row or snatch chains or make them niggas look like they wasn't as true as they were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but at the same time, like I said, I don't think there's no grand conspiracy in the death of Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one
I
thing,
don't
one
know
thing,
why it's no delay, y'all. Like my bar
And
is good.
one thing I will say though, the narrative over the years changed, right? Because when Pac first got transitioned and got murdered, there was all this talk about Suge being involved. Hell, when we were young, we didn't even bought into that narrative. But as we got older
Yes.
and times changed, that narrative has changed, right? It's I don't think Suge. My mind has changed with it because when I was a kid, you hearing this, you a child, you hearing all this information. You don't know the information is true. You just hearing what they telling you. But now you piece the things together. The more and more I get away from Suge not being really involved in that situation. That's just my assessment of it. I could be wrong, but I don't think Suge had nothing to do with it. Plus, he got shot in the situation, right? So it
he
is.
he 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 was standing right there though. He,
Yeah.
he
Until you
was standing right there, and he was driving the car. You know what I'm saying?
and to your point, as a boss,
Now, ain't
you gotta
nobody
move.
per-
And to your point, as a boss, you gotta move differently, right? You don't want to put your people in situations where you know what I'm saying that something can happen. So some culpability it can be bore on Suge, but as far as him calling the murder or calling the situation, I don't think he had nothing to do with that. And time tells that he didn't. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he could have called. I don't think he could have called that. But everybody, anybody who would get some level of power, what you're going to end up doing is actually backing down in times of turmoil. And it's not that you're afraid of the situation. It's just because you actually have power, so you have things to lose. And rather than to lose the things you worked for, you're just gonna end up backing out. You know what I mean? Just because you just don't want to lose what you worked for. That's just how it's gonna go. Unless you're just gonna throw it all away.
No
But
doubt, no doubt. Well, if you
you know,
haven't heard
it's unfortunate.
if you haven't heard the interview on Art of Dialogue, I'm really not a big fan of theirs. I said in the chat they do a lot of old gangster stories, a lot of gossip, but some of that stuff be interesting, right? So this one is a real interesting. Every time Suge speaks, his podcast was pretty dope. I don't know if you ever listened to the Suge Knight podcast. It was dope. And then he called into Vlad the other day. So he's a good storyteller. Suge's always been a good storyteller, whether you like him or love him or hate him. He's always told good stories that came across believable. But let's go to our next topic. Let's talk some Cam. Let's talk some Cam. Super Duper is probably the biggest Cameron fan of the clique, of the group. He got a top 10, but Cam has been talking a little greasy lately. He talked on his last show. I think one of his podcasts, he got two. He has It Is What It Is and like Talk with Flea, I believe, right? He talked about him getting shot in DC. He talked about Puff. He talked about Ocho Cinco a little bit, and I thought that was wild. But him and Jimmy been going back and forth, but you got a top 10. So what drew you to Cameron, Super? What made you become a Cameron fan before we pull up the list?
I mean, for me, it was just the word. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the way Cam rap. I like the way he represents himself. I think that me and Cam are like, I think that we think alike in a lot of ways. So when I listen to Cam rhyme and rap, I hear and I feel a lot of myself in a lot of things that he say. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why we really bringing this up is because Cam and Jim they beef is still getting more flames tossed on it. So today, Charlemagne interviewed Jim Jones, threw more gasoline on the flames and reignited this beef. And now Jim Jones is calling out Cam the Box. But me personally, I think that Jim should be calling out Dame the Box. Cam should pay for Dame to do this. If they want Floyd to sponsor the fight, it should be Cam. It should be Jim and Dame fighting.
So what? So what's the? So I got to get
You know what I'm
caught up.
saying? Like that. That's how I feel about it.
I got to get caught up. Maybe the audience got to get caught up too. What's the Jimmy and Dame situation? Because I ain't been peeping up with it.
I mean, when after Cam did his response to Jim on "It Is What It Is," he brought up the fact that Jim Jones tried to get Dame Dash jumped, and Dame Dash basically, like when the guys pulled up, they folded and they was like, "Oh shit, you want us to jump Dame?" Like, man, we ain't fighting Dame. And then Dame pretty much pulled the guy's card and called out Jim Jones, and Jim didn't want to fight Dame. So he said he'll box him. Dame basically called him out and said he'll box him all one by one, and it's allegedly on tape. So maybe Cam gonna drop the tape after Jim Jones challenges him to that boxing match. But hopefully Cam dropped the tape that he talking about, since Jim want to keep this beef going on, and now he want to challenge him to boxing matches. He want to bring Floyd Mayweather into it. You know what I mean? Like if this is what we doing, this is what we doing. So I'm looking forward to Cam dropping the tape of Dame hoeing Jim
I mean,
Jones and his whole clique at one time. If it's true.
To me, this is not really a beef. This is more like brothers having it's like a family situation. You know what I mean? Now I don't know the inner workings of their situation, but it seems like it's a family situation more so than a beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think there's no real animosity there. It's just some brothers having an issue. You know what I mean?
I
I
mean, I
mean, I
don't know
think
if you
it's
ever watched
our level of
Cam and Jim
animosity.
Jones.
Mhm.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leroy.
God, I think that nobody wants to give each other credit. Nobody wants to give each other credit. Cam don't want to give Jim Jones credit for actually being in Dipset. Like we didn't see him there. Dame don't want to give nobody on earth credit for doing nothing. It's like they have a problem giving the next person credit. And it's like at some point you got to get past that, man. Everybody did their job. Dame did his job. Now Dame has a serious issue against Jay, against everybody he used to work with. It's like, bro, just give people credit. You did your job and they did their job. And you can't be acting like, you have an issue, but your issue is the money. But Cam already expressed that too. Your issue is you had too much money. So now you have an issue because you done blew through so much money that you have an issue, but your issue was you had too much money to blow through and now you're just upset. That's a good problem for most people. Like if their issue was, man, I got too much money. That you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think these guys need to just like get over it, man. Out of
I
all
mean, I,
three,
I think
I like Cam the rapper, and I like Jim Jones the person. you know. But Jim Jones, when he held down the brand Dipset on a ground level. Cam was the star. We can never take that away. He was the star. Joel's was the up and coming guy. But the footwork in between that, I believe that was Jim Jones. You know what I mean? That's it. You know,
No doubt, no doubt. So they in the
I
chat.
hey,
believe
this
that.
is a prime example of.
Go ahead, Super. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is a prime example of how the media keeps shit going. Because if you watch that Breakfast Club interview with Jim Jones, you can see Charlamagne the God trying to egg him on. Like he brought up Pusha T, he brought up all of these things, and then he even like I can't remember exactly what was said, but he even tried to insinuate that Cam basically said something else about him, which he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of this beef is being
Yeah.
created by the media already. And they putting each other. They love to see this. So it ain't very much rap news going on. And Cam and Jim and Cam and Chad Ocho Cinco. It is what it is. It's keeping hip hop news buzzing and the rumor mill going. But at the same time, this ain't really very much of a story. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, no doubt. Well, the story is the music. So people in the chat, they was questioning Cam as an MC. They asking, does Cam really have 10 joints? So Super, what's your top 10? Cam, let's go in order that you sent me. The order that you sent me, no particular order, but let's run it down like that. Hold on. Let's run it down like that. Um, Let me pull up the list real quick. Let me pull up the list. So let me pull up the list. Let's start with number one. Let's start with number one. What was number one? Downloads. Hold on. This one right here. On Purple Haze 2. Losing Weight 3.
That's not number one. That's 10. That's 10, fam.
Oh, it's 10? I thought it wasn't
Hey,
in
but
no order
losing.
though. I thought it was no order though.
I mean,
Back.
it really wasn't no specific order, but that was like the last one I seen.
Let's go
But
10. So
losing
it's
weight
number
3.
10. Number 10. Losing Weight 3. Speak to
Yeah,
this joint.
yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Losing weight 3, man, it's Cam at his finest. You know what I mean? This is the last album that he dropped that with with actual bangers on it. You got Losing Weight 3 on there. You got I'm gonna get mines regardless on there. And Cam keeping it fire, man. Like I think I understand that Cam is an acquired taste and the traditional rhyme style of Cam. Like if you want to compare Cam to a Nas or a Jay, there is no real comparison like that there. But Cam got his own flavor and his own style that make him unique in his own way. He got his own slang and he rep his hood properly. You know what I'm saying? So
What made you like? What was
Losing Weight 3, man.
what,
Video fire.
Losing Weight 3? Losing Weight 3. Number 9. Which one is it? Got It for Cheap.
Got It for Cheap.
Got it
Another
for
one off
cheap.
of Killer Season. Or no, Crime Pays, my bad. This is off of Crime Pays. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to it, Cam rapping his ass off on here. And the reason why we did this list and the reason what made me think about this list was when Mike brought up Cam's one syllable flow. Cam is the master of the one syllable flow and just making that shit sound cool and sweet and riding the beat and rhyming his ass off. You know what I'm saying? So Got It for Cheap is another one of them one syllable flows where he killing it. You know what I'm saying?
Number 8.
Family Ties is another
Family
one.
Ties.
Family Ties is another one. Where the beat is classic Dipset beat. You got the violins and the instrumental. You got Cam coming through, doing what Cam do. You know what I'm saying? So it's another one of them ones. Like I don't like to get too descriptive because I talk to everybody as if they know what the fuck they listening to and they talking about, and I try to talk to everybody as if they know what I'm talking about. So I don't like to get too extra descriptive. Y'all know what's up if you know what's up.
Triple Up. Killer Season.
Yeah, they know Cam now. They know.
Triple Up. Yeah, you should know Cam by now. You know what I mean? Like I ain't gotta break down the lyrics of everything. Y'all know what's up. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know about these songs and if you're a casual Killer fan, then dig into these songs. I'm not gonna have too much of that super commercial stuff on my list when I talk about my real true personal top rappers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have Old Boy on my list because I skipped that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have songs like Triple Up because it's the true essence of Cam. You know what I'm saying? That's true Dipset shit right there. And shout out to A Mafia, man. What happened to A Mafia? If anybody got connections with Cam or anybody in the it is what it is chat, I would love for him to tell us what happened to A Mafia. A Mafia disappeared off the map.
Where I Know You From.
Where I know you from. Another one off of Crime Pays. You know what I'm saying? Since they cut my umbilical. You know what I mean? Killer is just he flexing on this shit. And this is another example of why Killer got that one syllable flow and why all of that shit be working in his fire.
No doubt, no doubt. That's
Taylor,
me.
I didn't put Wet Wipes on my list.
That's me from Sexual
Wet
Entertainment.
wipes.
Hey,
That that's
this delay
that's
is horrible, y'all. Hey,
that's the
this
video.
delay
That's
is
the song that.
real bad.
Yeah, we might have to do this list a little more justice, Super, when you get a better connection, brother.
Yeah,
Let's
because this is horrible. I can't even like tell when I'm talking properly.
Well, just speak to it. Just speak to it. We're not gonna say nothing. Just speak to it, and we just finish this
Yeah.
list up. Then we'll go into something else.
Hey, but that's me off of SDE. This is Cam Brown really feeling like he was free from that bad deal that he had over there at Sony, and he feel like he getting another chance with not Sony but with Entertainment. So he getting another chance with Sony after Sony bought the rights to all the artists, and this is what he dropped. And he feel like this. I want to say that Cam feels like this is the album where he actually got the chance to be himself. And That's Me is the song where he feels like he is free and he's actually able to be the artist that he wants to be. And this is the prime example of that song for Cam right here.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Boy, boy.
Boy, 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 boy is another one of them tracks where it's just Cam flowing his ass off with the one syllable flow. You know what I'm saying? Like he got quotable lines in there. You know what I mean? I heard you out there, shorty, selling boy, boy. Oh my God. Oh boy, boy. He just the way that he make that shit work is one of the most original flows in hip hop to ever like grace the game. You know what I'm saying? And just the way that Cam rip rip the mic and he do what he do, there's nobody that can do it like Cam. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes him so special, man.
What else we had? We had
No, the flow is crazy.
the next one is Harlem Streets.
Harlem Streets. I want to say he was
That's
rapping
fire.
over the Hill Street Blues beat on this. You know what I'm saying? And this is another one of them one syllable flows where Killer just killing that shit. He rhymed like Dick. I said, I honestly cannot picture anybody rhyming over this beat at all. And you know, my favorite parts of this shit is where he like that's how I play mine. Jump over the K9, jump over the grapevine, take my chances one on one with the K9. Like he just flowing his ass off on here. You know what I'm saying? So
Now that's two syllables though.
damn, is that bad?
You've
We can
been
get it
saying
started.
one syllable, but Cam is you
Come home with
have
me.
to.
Hey, I'm like 30 seconds delayed. This shit is crazy, y'all. I can't lie.
Come home with me. Hey, Super, finish the list out, and
Come
then
home
Come
with
home with
me.
me. Come
The
on,
the
man.
the title track. Yeah, I'm gonna finish the list out and try to jump back on because like I'm like 45 seconds delayed or something crazy. Hey, but Come Home with Me
Mm.
is classic track off of Come Home with Me. You know what I'm saying? And it you know it is what it is what it is when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that Cam is the type of rapper that you can influence anybody to like. You just gotta listen and it just gotta fit you. You know what I'm saying? And like it's an acquired taste, and
Yeah.
you just gotta recognize the greatness in what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then it you know you can judge him on lyrical standards. You can judge him on a lot of things, but when I talk about Cam and I say things, when I speak about Jay-Z or Lil Wayne, I always bring this up that they only good about talking talking about themselves. I think Cam is another artist that's just like that. That he really is only good at talking about himself, his life, what he going through, how he feel about something, and it works perfect for him. You know what I mean? You can't expect Cam to do nothing else more than what he already does. You know what I mean? And he talks about his life and what he's going through and his perspective on things. So
no, losing weight, the first one. My bad. Losing weight, the first one. That's not the right one.
losing weight, part one. This ain't no surprise if y'all know me a little bit. You know what I mean? It's got Prodigy. It's featuring Prodigy. Cam and Prodigy did their thing on here, and you know what I mean? Like it's this is the Hustler's Blues right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's my top 10 from Cam, fam. That's my top 10 from Cam.
No doubt. Good job,
Fire.
Super. Good job, Super. Leroy Servan, what y'all say about that list, man?
I
I wouldn't
rock with it,
name other
especially he
ones.
had
I
a
ain't mad at it
triple
though.
up on there from that was fire. Yeah, I'm not mad. Cam for me, it's the flow. You know what I mean? And that flow, I don't think will ever be done again, or how, especially on Purple Haze. You know what I mean? That just to rap that way is crazy. You know what I mean? So, Gemstones, Flintstones. You could say I'm friends with Fred. It's comedy too. So it's crazy. I rock with it. You know
Yo,
what I mean?
give us a thumbs up in the chat if we are good on their end. I mean, Savon, you say we good on the other side, or it's delayed on our side?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a major delay on our side. I don't know if the viewers are
Yeah.
able to. I dipped in the chat and see what they were saying. I don't think they get on their end, but for us, it's a delay on our side.
Mm,
That's what it is.
don't know what to do. Should we
Hey,
stop it?
I'm a true Cam fan. So, you know what I mean? Like these type of lists is always really hard for me to make. Same with Prodigy. When you a real fan of somebody, you could I could pick a lot of shit. I could have went through Public Enemy, and I could have went through Heat Up in here with him and Vado. I could have went through a bunch of different things because I'm a true fan of Cam. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate his music in a different way than the casual fan. Somebody might be like, "Where's old boy at?" and where's Hey Ma, and where's What Means the World to You? Them ain't the songs
Hmm.
that true Cam fans is really, really rocking like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the casual fan. So my
Where
list
you
is for the real true killer fan, the niggas that know what they really actually talking about.
where you got Cam on your all time list?
I mean, I got a lot of different lists, fam. Like, to be honest with you, I rank lists differently. I got a personal list, I got a legacy list, I got a catalog list.
Man, give me a
You know what I mean?
list,
I got
man.
a
All
lyrical
these
list.
lists, man.
So
What's
I,
100
I mean, like,
100 rappers?
I
Where he
mean,
at, man?
like for me personally, on my personal list, I would say that Cam is he's definitely in my top 10. He's in my top 10, just from how I listen to the music and how I enjoy the music and how I've been enjoying the music over the years. He's in my personal top
Yeah.
10. Objectively, I will put him in the top. I will put him in the top 20. Definitely top 20. I think he's over like Redman or like if I had to be specific about it, I could really be specific about it. I would even put him over Jadakiss, even though I know Jada beat him in the verses, or the Locks beat Dipset in the verses. I would still put Cam over Jadakiss catalog wise. So that's why I'm saying I got different criteria and different
Me
lists
too. Yeah.
based on
Like
what we're talking about.
that's not that's not crazy to me. Cam over Jadakiss is not, Jadakiss is fire, but we're talking about catalog. I mean, that's not crazy to me. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
are you talking about songs? I get where Super's going, but then you gotta throw LOX songs in there, you gotta throw Jadakiss songs in there, and you talking
We're not
about
throwing LOX in there.
but I'm
We're
talking
not
about you.
throwing LOX in
But
there.
again, and Mike doesn't like when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If two niggas is rapping, I'm picking Jadakiss. If we going bar for bar, you know what I mean?
Now, and now
Yeah.
that's why I say I got separate lists, because I agree with you. Now, if we talking about on the lyrical side and we talking in that aspect, now I can, like, I'll be foolish to say that Cam can rap better than Jada, but song
Have
wise,
y'all have y'all
even
seen Cam's
impact wise,
freestyles?
yeah, song wise, impact wise, what Cam has brought to the game, his legacy is a little bit higher than Jada's.
Hmm. Interesting. So Vaughn, what say you, sir?
Okay.
I'm taking
I'll
Jada.
put it like this, man.
I'm taking
Cam's
Jadakiss.
freestyles
I've
is
said in
pretty crazy.
I said in shows that Jadakiss doesn't have a bad verse. There's not one bad verse of Jada I've heard.
That's
I've
interesting.
said that countless shows before, and like, yeah, Cam might have more popular known songs because he broke mainstream in a
I
different
agree.
way, and I can't take that away from him. But there's just stuff that Jada will make you remember about, and he did in that verses as well. If we were to do a verses and they do Cam and Jada, I think I can make a very good point for for Kiss. I'm just gonna be honest.
Hey, but don't,
I'll
Savon,
say
don't you
this
think
though.
that?
with Jadakiss's verses, you know Jadakiss's verses and freestyles come from actual songs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you they come from songs. Where do Cam's freestyles come from? Where are those songs? You know what I'm saying? That's what Cam is freestyle. I'm not saying
No,
he's
it's
doing it
not
off
even a
the
knock
head,
on.
Hey,
but he's
I would
different.
say
You know?
that Cam is not the live performer that Jada is. So on the versus stage, you know what I mean? I'm not surprised that Jada would get him on that because I don't think that Cam is the total MC and performer that Jadakiss is. But like I said, if we gonna albums and if we gonna compare songs and even group work, Dipset and Cameron
Mm-hmm.
and Cameron versus Jadakiss is closer than we wanna admit. You know what I mean? Like Dipset, the Locks might beat Dipset, but
It's close.
Cameron can't beat Jadakiss in the verses.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got a delay here. It's killing our show
Okay.
because we got a good content tonight, guys. We're gonna have to restart the stream. So, give us about 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna recalibrate, and we'll be back at it. My bad. Our apologies. We
Oh,
have some technical difficulties right now, but we gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. We'll be back in less than 5 minutes.
No doubt.